Alright, hi everybody. So this is my first actual internet video. Also, this is my first experience with Arduino, so I kind of wanted to document that, and I figured there's some other interested people out there that might get a kick out of this. So this is a Arduino Uno revision 3 board that I ordered off the internet. It's I don't know, like $30 or something. Your mileage may vary, you might get them cheaper or more expensive, something like that. So my goal with purchasing this was to build a comprehensive fan controller solution for my home lab. I have quite a number of servers, and it's not really quite developed yet, but this was my first experiment with it, just a proof of concept to see if I could do PWM control of a fan that supports PWM. And for those who don't know, PWM is pulse width modulation. It's a means of providing digital control for motors. So whether it be a stepper motor, servo, or in this case a fan. What I have here is the Arduino board. This is and some other random components that I had laying around my house. This is a Molex, 4-pin Molex connector to a 2-pin power that are 2-pin connector that would usually be used to power a fan, a system fan, and I've been using it just to power the board. We have a voltage in on the board and ground in on the board. The board supports between 12 and 20 volt, I'm sorry, maybe 7 and 20 volt input, which is great because we're going to use a standard off-the-shelf ATX power supply that supports, has 5 volt, 12 volt rails, so we get our 12 volt power easily. There is a Delta blower type fan that supports PWM. I snagged this out of a bad power supply, and the fan still works just fine. These Delta fans are basically indestructible. They almost last forever, bearing some defects. So I snipped the 4-pin connector off of it. We have 4 wires. So we have this blue wire here that outputs a frequency that can be used to determine the speed of the fan. It's the TAC pin. We have this yellow pin here, which is the PWM pin. It supports the standard PWM fan control specification for ATX, which is a between 25 and 28 kilohertz signal, modulated between 0 and 5 volts. And then we have, of course, our 12 volt power. These fans can run between like 7 and 12 volts. But we are running it at 12. And so we have these ATX power supplies are pretty cool, handy. I just grabbed this out of a box of a broken computer. And this green pin here is the power on pin. If you shunt that to ground, you can force the power supply into to turn on, which is normally you would flip the switch on your case and it would turn on, but obviously we don't have a case here, so or a switch. Just make sure that this is unplugged while we're playing around with it. Alright, so those are shunted, and power this guy on. Then I'll take connector from one of the 12 volt rails and the other connector, and we'll go ahead and plug this up. And so this is the PWM control, this pin. I've written a sketch, basically just grabbed one that was already on the internet, and then did some minor research on the math to do to get the right frequency. So the Arduino has 6 PWM outputs provided by 3 timers, and we're using timer number 2 on pin 3, and we'll just plug that in. Power this guy on. And what this just initial program does is it spins the fan up to 100% duty cycle for 20 seconds, and then spins it down, I actually think it's 10 seconds, spins it down to 50% duty cycle for 10 seconds, and just keeps running that loop as the main control loop. So as you can probably hear, but perhaps not see, is that fan is cycling up and down, and I think maybe you can get a good demonstration of, well, it's quite powerful, so that's 100% duty cycle, and now it's spinning down to about 50% duty cycle, and it's ruffling the paper a little less, so you can kind of see that there's a change going on there. So anyway, that's my first experiment with Arduino, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.